Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
And beer.
and Beer.
So just as a heads up, I know that we don't drink on this show, right?
Right, correct.
If anybody is watching and they happen to catch a white and blue can, it's not a Miller Lite. It's Liquid Death. It's just water.
I just can't see paying $5 a can for water.
Oh, no. So I bought a 12-pack of the little 12-ounce cans, and it was like 11 something. So it was less than $1 a can.
Still, I go to the tap, the tap, throw some ice in,
Or if you get like the individual big cans, they're like $1.19. So it's about the same as buying a bottle of water, except you can't refill it.
Okay, well, but at least you don't have the microplastics on that.
That's true. Keep the microplastics in my balls where they belong.
Damn. Oh, man.
That's the other thing, is there's no such thing as a single-use plastic bottle. I've had the same Smart Water bottle in my bathroom that I use for taking my meds in the morning for like 3 months. Single-use my ass.
Well, I've had this monster for several years, but probably like 5 years.
Yeah.
It goes everywhere with me. The only thing that's ever been in it is water.
Yeah, because once you put other stuff in a jug like that, you never quite get the flavor out.
Nope, you don't.
You know?
So anyway, we're...
Speaking of never getting the flavor out.
Yeah. Part 2 of Herb Baumeister, the I-70 killer, or I-70 strangler, or whatever you want to call him. I really don't care. And I think that this artwork may be the creepiest one that I've done so far.
It's pretty creepy. Can you zoom in specifically, or does it just kind of zoom in the entire image?
Well...
Because if you can zoom in on his... No, not his feet. Gross. I was talking about his face. Specifically, like the... Now, can you drag the image? There we go. God, look at that face.
Yeah, I actually found another image of him, so there's 2 images of him.
Yeah.
But you got the creepy-looking mannequins, you got the dead body, and the hose.
That's going to come into play.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is probably the creepiest one of these that I've done so far.
And like, I don't know how things work in a gay bar, but I would think that they usually have better taste in men. He's not a good-looking dude. Like,
have you seen pictures of Ron Dominique?
No,
okay.
But like, then you look at Jeffrey Dahmer, and you're like, he's kind of handsome, you know. It's like, he's not a bad-looking guy.
Well,
but
especially back, I don't know how it is now, but back then, when when Jeffrey Dahmer, Herb Baumeister, and everything were doing that scene was so underground. It was pretty much, you didn't have like Grindr or something like that to go, pick what you actually want. You pretty much had to find somebody willing, and beggars couldn't be choosers. But
yeah, he's an ugly bastard, dude. No offense.
So
Ron Dominique kind of looks like a big toe if you put a goatee on it and with a receding hairline.
He looks like a potato. Hence why we called him the potato.
Looks like a fucking thumb with eyes.
Episode 37.
Gross.
But anyway, before we get started, shout outs. Got a few of them.
Oh, here we go.
Love this because that means that the show's growing, and I've noticed that our back catalog is really, people are starting from the beginning and whatnot. So that's awesome. The show's finally growing. Well, I'll be happy when it gets back to where it was when Paul was the co-host. But I want to go beyond. I want to go beyond that, obviously.
Now let me ask you: how many are these? Just comments that you got, or are these?
It's just comments.
Okay, so I'm not a betting man, but I know a name that's on there multiple times.
Well, yeah, duh. Anyway, but we're gonna get started. David P. from last week. He's really getting into it. He's bouncing back and forth. He's left a comment on the black metal episode. He had heard us talking about it on part 1 of Herb Baumeister. So I guess we mentioned the black metal episode last week.
Yeah, with the dead bird thing.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
And he also, once again, said R.A.P. Todd. So, yeah. Anytime somebody says that, they're going to get a shout-out.
Absolutely.
Next, Joshua F. I laughed when I heard this one. This is on the Doomsday Cat Cult episode.
I don't think I was on that one, was I?
No, you weren't.
Okay.
Sandra was the co-host.
I feel like I would remember that.
But he says, seriously, abso-fucking-lutely nothing on the internet surprises me anymore. Next we have Mama Four Boys on Spotify. She says she enjoys the podcast and we make her laugh.
Good.
And then E-Bitch, again, now she's, she's breaking away a little bit. She's listening to the 4-part episode on Willie Picton.
Oh, God.
And
Pigman.
And I'm specifying that and a comment that she made on the Curem case. She really appreciates the fact that we not only say all the names of the victims with respect, but we also give no quarter to the shitbags.
No, absolutely not.
And that's the reason I closed this segment with that, is because that's what true crime comedy is.
Yep.
So
no remorse. No surrender, no quarter.
Right. So yes, we are going to ridicule the living shit out of it. And every now and then I'm going to get comments. I've gotten comments of people that like, how can you laugh about something? How can you not laugh about it? Especially when they make it so freaking easy.
Yeah.
BTK with his floppy disk.
It's like if you want an incredibly super serious true crime podcast, go listen to fucking Case File. It's a great show.
Right.
But if you want to hear like normal dudes talking about,
and the word beer is in the freaking title of the podcast for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not drinking any, but we're acting like we are.
After the week I've had, man, I'm getting close to needing one tomorrow night, but we'll see.
The song that I mentioned in a couple of times that I teased, it's almost done.
Nice. I am not writing a song because I don't possess that skill.
I did all the keyboard parts today. After several hours of trying to get the keyboard integrated into my recording equipment,
right?
That was a pain in the ass. So, but I got it all. Like total of probably 3 or 4 hours over several days, fucking with that thing. Nice. I got it right, and the night before last didn't feel like doing anything, and then I had some time today, so I go to do it, and the settings didn't save apparently, so I had to figure it out all over again. Well, this time I wrote the shit down on a marker board that I've got in here, and it's going to stay there.
Yeah. I have to do that with my microphone settings because every once in a while I'll hop on to record, and for whatever reason my microphone has changed ports in Riverside. So I'll do the test recording, then listen, and I'm like, I can't hear anything. Okay, try the next one. Test recording, can't hear anything until I have to keep doing that until I find it. Then once I find it, I literally had it scribbled with like dry erase marker on the side of my computer case, so just so I can look and go, oh, okay, that's what I need to be on.
Well, so yeah, but anyway, what we're talking about is, on episode 1, there's a Death of Michael Malloy. There is a song that I wrote of the same name, and it's a thrash metal song about Michael Malloy, the titan that is Michael Malloy. Well, now I'm writing another song about one of our old cases. One of the early episodes that Todd was on, a really good one, and it's on the same level of crazy that the Michael Malloy story is on, but I'm writing a song about it. It's not a thrash metal song, but I think you're gonna like it. And yes, I am teasing this. Anyway, let's start the episode.
Hell yeah! So where did we leave off last week? We left off with
on a cliffhanger.
Yes, we did. With oh my goodness, what was the guy's first name? His last name was Goodyear. Mark Goodyear, I believe.
Michelin.
Mark Goodyear. There it is. Mark Goodyear. So he is the first one that Herb has let go, right?
Right.
And now he's been calling him like, hey, buddy, we should hang out again because I liked the games that we were playing, this, that, the other. And Mark, being not a stupid person, knows exactly what Herb is trying to do. So he gets a hold of the police, and they essentially like tie a string around Mark Goodyear, and are like, well, if he comes back, he grabs you, like he'll set off our trap, and we'll come find you eventually. And they've like sat in on phone calls between the two and like triangulated it to a payphone, and by the time they get there, of course, the receiver is just hanging off in the breeze because it's a movie, you know.
Right.
So they put Goodyear into protection, so basically like low grade witness protection, and they want to use
is that
him
really necessary?
What do you mean?
I mean, Baumeister is Baumeister the type that would hunt this dude down and just kill him?
Oh yeah. No, not necessarily. He's not going to hunt him down and kill him. It's not going to be like a Michael Myers situation, but he is fully planning on trying to finish this guy off.
Right, but still, he only kills.
Basically, what they're doing is they have. Right. So he's trying to lure him back there. Of course, it's not his house. He's just the groundskeeper. Remember?
Right.
So yeah, he's like, oh, it's not actually my place. I just, I live in the fucking pool shed or whatever. So the police are essentially trailing Mark Goodyear wherever he goes to protect him. And the plan they come up with here is to have Goodyear call Herb and have him meet him at a place called the 501 Tavern, which, spoiler alert, is one of the most popular gay bars in the Indianapolis area. I'm not sure if it's still around or not. But Herb agrees to meet him, and then they sit there for a while, and after a couple hours, they start to realize he's not coming in. He's not going to show up.
Of course he doesn't.
So we're going to skip ahead to the fall of 1994. Little Eric, Herb's son, is playing in the woods, doing what most little boys did as kids, were poking around at the ground with a stick. Because it's 1994. Tablet kids aren't a thing yet. You're out digging holes, burning ants with magnifying glasses, just being a dude, being a little kid. Him and his friends are just... What's that?
Nothing.
What? No, I didn't hear what you said.
I said Pokemon Go.
Yeah, this is definitely a way you could have stumbled across something like this now. I'm pretty sure it's happened.
Well, yeah, you wind up on the... There was one case, I think it was Orlando, where a kid actually climbed the fence to go and climbed onto the runway at an airport to go get one of these things.
Oh, God. Speaking of which, did you see the guy out in Colorado? Yeah, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he ran out on the runway at the Denver International Airport and got sucked through a fucking 747 engine.
No way.
That was, I think it was over the weekend. It was like, and there was pictures. It was fucking gnarly.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
sure
boy.
I want to, but...
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see anything too graphic. You just see, like, the engine is destroyed and there's blood on it, but, I mean...
Well...
Darwinism, I guess.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Correct. So, speaking of just playing stupid games, kids are out here just farting around in the woods, and they come across a human skull, like a fully intact human skull.
Thanks.
Unlike most kids that would have, potentially freaked out and run away, Eric picked it up and put it on top of a stick and ran back to the house with it.
Daddy, look what I found.
This is something I would have done as a kid.
Me too.
His goal was to use it to scare his sister.
Although, if had I done that, I probably would have had to have an exorcism performed on me.
Right. We wouldn't be doing a podcast. They would have beat you to death with bricks and yardsticks.
Yeah.
So he runs back to the house to try to scare his sister with it.
And that's what I would have done too. I would have gone to scare my sister with it.
Open the window.
Right up in the window. Yep. Damn right. Hell
You're going to
I
tap it against the glass a little bit, like tink, tink, tink to get her attention.
I actually did that with a Halloween mask one time, and oh my God, I caught hell with that.
One of the earliest memories I have of somebody scaring the bejesus out of me like that was I was like 4 or 5, and my dad had bought this like crazy looking like rubber devil mask for Halloween, and I had no idea where he was. Like, I was doing stuff in the living room, and he must have been in the living room closet for like 20 minutes before I even came in there, because I'm like playing with cars or whatever, and I hear the door open, and I look up, and fucking Satan is standing in the closet, and I pissed my pants. It scared me that bad that I was like, oh my God. And then it's just a mask, and he peels it off, and he's got fucking like red face paint underneath it. It scared the shit out of me.
That's hilarious.
Which is the kind of guy that my dad is. Wonder where I get it from. So him and his buddy decided that they would they'd hold up the stick, blah, 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 and, mess with his sister. Understandably freaked out, Mother Julie demands that Eric show her exactly where he found this skull out in the woods. So he takes her back out there to where he found it, and they are just like poking around, and they find more bones. A lot more bones. And this is where Julie completely screwed the pooch, and she decided not to say anything about it until she had a chance to talk to Herb.
It wasn't me.
She should have called the cops like right then to report the remains. But she didn't. And after everything was said and done, with this case, the neighbors would say that they had a really hard time believing that she had no idea about any of this because of the amount of time that she spent like on the edge of the woods, like gardening and doing yard work and all that stuff, because they weren't all that far into the woods when they found this. They were a few yards into the woods. And I mean, if you're out there all the time, you'd probably notice, I don't know, a smell of something decomposing in the woods.
You mean it wasn't like the magnolia tree plants or anything like that? I've never been around a rotting corpse, but I've heard that they don't smell that great, So even after all the criticism that she got, she still insists that the skull and the subsequent bones that they found were the first bones that she had ever seen on the property. And when she confronted Herb about it, he played it off saying that they were props from his father's day as a medical student at Indiana University.
It wasn't me.
So this is something that my dad had because he was a medical student, so he had a full, actual human skeleton. Those are the fake ones, like you have in doctor's offices, are a couple $1,000s.
Oh, yeah.
So to get a real, actual, articulated human skeleton...
Well, those huge ones that they sell around Halloween that are made out of plastic, those aren't very much. A couple $100.
Right, but like the... like an actual, like the medical ones, like the fake medical ones are, those are a couple $100s.
Yeah.
But a real, like, articulated human skeleton is probably, I don't know. Do you want to see if I can get put on a watch list and do an ADD break?
Go right ahead. I'm looking for something myself.
Okay, so the synthetic ones look like they run about $185 on Amazon. No way. Dude, skullsunlimited.com. I bet they have that, right?
You would think.
Real human skeleton articulated. $7,250. But the good news is, if we do it with Shopify Shop Pay, we can get it for $654.37 a month.
A month for how many?
Yeah, and you make payments on it,
Oh, cool.
which is pretty excellent, I guess. But yeah, it's about $7,000 for a real human skeleton, and he just chucked it in the woods. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a box anyway. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
So she found this explanation incredibly odd because she didn't remember having a full skeleton like laying around in storage. But it could have been, hard to remember considering that the Baumeister home wasn't as well maintained inside as it was outside. Pretty scattershot inside for the most part.
By the way, last episode and this one, you're going to hear a fan kick on and everything. I live in Florida. I have to run the AC. Otherwise it gets really hot in here. So.
Oh, you mean it's not 47 degrees and raining there like it is here?
No, it is 81 and clear right now.
Jesus, it's almost 9 o'clock and it's 81 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, Florida's just preheating right now. That's not even. We're not even close.
I would fucking stick to everything in that kind of humidity. I don't know how you can move around in your chair without it just going constantly.
I have the air conditioner on.
Oh fuck, dude! I would feel like I was super glued to that thing. I'd stand up and bring it with me. Okay, so the reason that the inside of the house is pretty not well maintained is because they're both pack rats, and like they just have boxes on top of crates on top of piles of paperwork, knickknacks, and other random shit throughout this entire house. Meanwhile, back in Indianapolis, Mark Goodyear has become annoyed with working for the Indianapolis Metro Police, and he kind of tells them, like, this isn't working because you guys are cops and you're thinking like cops. So he... Was that me or you? That was me. Why do I have Facebook still open? Piss off. So he basically stops working with the police and randomly crosses paths with our buddy from last week, Virgil Vandegrift.
Oh. Okay.
So we're going to go talk to a PI because he probably has a much better chance of being able to think like a scumbag murderer than the cops do. Because, like, this is 1994 in Indiana. This is buzz cut country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is, I'm going to turn my body camera off before I walk up to the side of this car kind of area. Whereas this guy has been out on the street and he's dealt with people like this, So his frustration was actually predicted by Baumeister. The police, because he had told him before that, nobody's going to take your story seriously because you're gay and you're a drug user, yada, yada, yada. So all this going on is kind of what prompted him to basically tell the police to go away and to work with Vandegrift. As part of this new partnership, Goodyear did a full taped interview telling everything that he knew. It was from this interview that the description of the property of Fox Hollow Farm that he brought to Vandegrift. So he kind of used all of this and created a very detailed map of the house and the area that it was in. I mean, obviously as detailed of a map as you can for not having been there. But he also knows the general area of where the house is in the city. Because he described it as like, it's a property surrounded by horse fencing, and that really helped him narrow it down to either Westfield or Carmel, both of which are just north of Indianapolis. They're both kind of like out in the burbs, but these two areas are the most likely place you're going to see something like this. After they got the description, the PI and his team started driving around and eventually came to a property with a long winding driveway, just as Goodyear described it, and a nameplate reading Fox Hollow Farm. The team staked out the property and took photos which were shown to Goodyear, but he couldn't really make too much of them because, again, when he went there, it was dark. Because not a lot of people are going out to nightclubs in the middle of the day.
No.
So during the stakeout, Vandegrift received word of a cold case out of Ohio that seemed to fit the same profile or very, very close to what's going on in Indianapolis. The case had been called the I-70 Strangler, where several gay men had been strangled and dumped on the stretch of I-70 that runs through Ohio and Indiana. So, that's where the subtitle of our episodes come from.
Well, I did.
Shocker.
I wrote killer.
Either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, right? I mean,
Killer, strangler.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a strangler if you're not killing people.
This is not true. You can strangle somebody and not kill them.
That's true, but like, doesn't have the same punch to it, you know? But I mean, none of them are like the Night Stalker, because
Right.
the American media is not good at naming people. So with all that information, Vandegrift immediately called David Lindoff, who's the lead investigator for the case on the Ohio side of it. Lindoff said to Vandegrift, quote, "You got two gay guys missing? Well, guess what? I know of 12 murders, and most of them are gay guys from Indianapolis." There's a very clear link between the two cases, and Vandegrift and his team realized that they are well over their heads for this case. But remembering how badly Goodyear had been treated by Metro Police, he made sure to, like, word his news to them better of what he'd figured out. And the police were much more receptive getting information from a private investigator who was a former police officer than they were from some random gay dude that they picked up off the side of the street. Even though this guy had a first-hand account of exactly what happened and exactly where it was for the most part. But
Oh yeah.
again, gay.
I mean, the only way they would have taken him seriously is if Herb had actually killed him and they had found his corpse.
Right.
And even then, they'd probably still. Yeah.
They'd have been like,
Are you
"Oh.
sure you're dead?
Can we talk to...
Are you sure that you're dead? I mean, because you're gay, so you might just be alive. You know.
Can I talk to him from outside of the interview room? I don't want to catch it. Goes to shake his hand and he's like, hold on. Pulls on a glove. There we go. Sweet.
It's a little bit too hard. The wrist pops off.
It's like, I know it's transferred by skin to skin contact.
Are you sure that you're dead? Are you sure? You have to confirm with us whether or not you're dead.
He's not saying anything. This guy's
guy's unreliable.
Get rid of him. They just chuck him out a window. So it's only after Vandegrift gave the Metro Police Department the information that he had just learned that they jumped back into the investigation, because they were really not all that interested in trying to track this guy down. Because, again, he's just killing gay dudes. Like, if he'd been killing female prostitutes, it would have been the same thing. Like, whatever. He's doing our job for us, I guess. Getting them off the street. It was at this point that Mary Wilson, the Marion County detective in charge of missing persons, who's tasked with finding information on these gay men. So that's where she comes into our story here. She had already been contacted by Alan Broussard's mother, so she was familiar with parts of the case. And she contacted Mark Goodyear, who gave his story to her, even though he had a pretty miserable time with the Metro Police Department. He had an immediate connection with her, because I think she was a little bit more receptive to listening to him than, our guys that all look like Hank Hill would be.
Hey, Hank Hill's cool.
Well, he is, but like, I'm just saying, like, they've just, whoa. Those guys.
Yeah.
So she was able to create a good enough relationship with him that she actually talked him into going back to Fox Hollow Farm. And it was around the same time in 1994 that Eric found the skull. It was right around the same time frame as when Goodyear would actually go back to the farm, like within a few weeks of the little weirdo's skull incident. After driving around for almost 3 hours, Goodyear and Wilson returned to Indianapolis with no real proof that this was the location. Goodyear at this point was starting to get more and more nervous about his own safety when, out of the blue, Herb Baumeister showed up at a friend's house that he was staying at. He never gave Herb the address, and when he spoke to Wilson, he said, quote, "How the hell did he get my address? I didn't even stay there at that point in time. He called me on his cell phone, tells me he'll see me in a half an hour. Before I know it, he's at my door. I've never had a utility or phone bill in my name in my life." So I get the feeling. But guess what he did have, I'm assuming? A driver's license.
Oh.
And I bet you Herb has still got buddies at the DMV.
Oh.
That could track that. Like, hey, I'm looking for somebody. You give me an address, you know. He's an upstanding citizen and everything too, so
when you're gonna do something that's gonna throw, like be mentioned later on, that's gonna come back, just tell me to put a knife in it and I will.
Oh. Well, no. That whole thing with the driver's license, that's just speculation. That's just me guessing.
Oh, I know, whether it's you guessing or not. Yeah, because I don't know the story very well. I haven't heard, I haven't looked into Baumeister in years.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know when, I'm supposed to put a knife in it in an episode that you're taking lead on.
Yeah, I just never even really thought to do that. I'm like, oh, that's not my thing. That's Bill's. Bill's supposed to put knives in it.
Okay.
There we go. But again, that's just me winging it. Being a fucking office chair police officer here. Because honestly, in my personal life, I know some people that would be scummy enough to do stuff like that. To be like, oh, hey, I'm trying to find somebody. I know a cop. Maybe. Which is disgusting, but people are too.
These days, it's not very hard. I had an ex who just basically, knew how to do background checks and everything.
Yeah.
And, I never saw her at my house, but I know that she was there. I know for a fact that she was there because, well, things happened.
And it only cost you a couple bucks to run a background check. I mean,
yep.
So this understandably upset Goodyear, considering Baumeister seemed to be better at finding him than the police were at finding Baumeister.
Yeah, I'd be pissed off too.
And his visit had been pretty quick, but also pretty terrifying to Goodyear, who was trying to be like as brave as possible, considering this guy tried to kill him, and he's just now in his house. But Herb just acted like nothing strange had ever happened between the two, and like they were just old buddies. And before he left, he told Mark Goodyear, quote, "We should hang out again sometime soon." And Mark came up with some excuses as to why that wasn't a good idea, including, his boyfriend is sleeping in the other room. The mention of the boyfriend actually kind of scared a word that they used a lot in my resources was effeminate for Herb. So not a super like manly dude, the kind of guy where you could say something and he'd be like, "Oh, I'll leave then," but also, yeah. But the mention of a boyfriend scared Herb off. He's like, "Oh shit, I should probably leave," because again, he's not a big dude, and I mean, any normal sized man probably could have beat the shit out of him if they needed to. Goodyear said he was so scared that he couldn't get his shit together enough to get the plate number on Herb's car. And the car was parked right outside. So this little unwanted visit bore nothing more but scaring the crap out of Goodyear. Detective Wilson, knowing that Goodyear was still an active member of the gay community and still went out to the bars and whatnot, all that, told him that he would have to get Herb Baumeister to, like, go out so that they could get a look at the plates.
Did they have a warrant?
No, but you don't. If you're staking somebody out, I don't think you need one. You can just kind of like try to talk people into getting them to go out so you can get pictures and stuff of them.
Yeah.
Because I think you only need a warrant if you're going to search a house or any locked compartments of a vehicle.
Yeah. I thought you meant that they were going to go search his house.
Oh no, they're trying to get him out and about so that they can get like pictures of him, his car, his license plate, all that stuff too.
Oh.
So they can actually like pin down that this is their guy.
Gotcha.
Goodyear admitted in a later interview that this was a pretty low point in his life, and he often broke down when he saw the missing posters of men that he knew. And he also started talking to Roger Goodlet's mother and some of the other acquaintances he knew. Roger Goodlet is the first guy that we talked about last week that went missing in Indianapolis. Goodyear starts going out to all the local gay bars, and his efforts paid off August 29th, 1995. Goodyear and a few of his friends went to a bar called the Varsity Lounge, which, I mean, sounds pretty gay to me. I'm kidding.
Also sounds like a good place to pick up varsity cheerleaders.
Maybe. When Goodyear looked up from talking to his friends, he sees Baumeister just walking into the club like he's supposed to be there. So when he sees Herb walk in, he like tapped one of his friends on the shoulder and says, quote, "That's him. That's the guy that killed Alan. I'm going to distract him." So Herb spots Goodyear across the bar and just starts heading his way. And as he's walking over, Goodyear tells one of his friends, quote, "Get a pencil and paper from the bartender, go out to the parking lot and stay there until you see him come out. Don't leave until you see him come out, and don't leave until you see him get in his car, and be sure you get a license plate number." So he's being a cop. Like, he's doing what the cops are supposed to be doing here.
Yeah.
You know?
Like 4 episodes on the past month or two where like a civilian is doing better copping than the cops.
And that's the problem with serial killers, is like you watch these documentaries and they make them sound like evil geniuses when it's always bad police work.
Right.
Like, I can't remember, oh, son of a bitch, what was the guy's name? I want to say he was in Cleveland. He was a black serial killer that got caught.
Sowell.
What's that?
Anthony Sowell.
The one that got caught with a shopping cart with a dead body in it?
No.
Yeah,
this guy was the one. He was the one that was storing all of his victims in his house, and the smell was getting so bad, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's just the fish, the meat market, the meat factory right next door." Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, this was one where
we covered him a while back.
Where
Anthony
like
Sowell.
There had been people telling the police for like years, like, this guy is doing some weird shit. He's always out in his backyard digging in the middle of the night. People go in his house and they never come back out. And he was like transporting a corpse somewhere in a shopping cart. And the police just like rolled by, hit him with the fucking, like the spotlight on the side of the car, looked at it and just went, and drove off.
Oh, damn.
He had a dead body in a shopping cart. And they're just like, probably nothing.
I don't know who that could be.
I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, they just completely screwed pooch with that one. But
hold on, ADD break.
Yeah. Anthony Robinson.
Anthony Robinson, the shopping cart killer. He just made the list.
Was I wrong? I might be wrong. He might not have been might not have been a black guy. I thought he was for some reason.
No. Yeah, crimes occurred in Virginia and Washington, D.C. rather than the Midwest. He gained notoriety for transporting his victims' bodies in shopping carts. Okay, yeah, he's on the list. He's definitely on the list. But he's not next. I already know who I'm covering next.
You got to
And
keep
this-
track of
and
the
this is-
bearings so
and
we don't
this
get
is-
caught.
And this is somebody who, you're going to like this, Glenn, because it's somebody that we can rip on the entire
Good.
frickin'
Good.
way.
So he picked his friend Albert to do all this stuff. And he said, quote, "Don't fuck this up, Albert. Get that number no matter what." So I'm assuming Albert is probably the most trustworthy and has the best handwriting of any of these people. When Baumeister got to him, Goodyear just screwed on a shit-eating grin and yelled, "Hey guys, look, it's Brian," or whatever his name is. "Come shake hands with the guy who's killing all these guys. He's strangling them." He said that out loud in front of him.
In front of Herb.
Yeah. The whole bar turned their attention to him, and Baumeister roughly patted Goodyear on the shoulder. And
And you know what he said?
It wasn't me.
yeah. And then Goodyear responded to this again by yelling, quote, "Show them that trick you showed me, the thing where you put your hands here," and he put his hands around Baumeister's neck. Instead of making Herb nervous, Herb seemed to enjoy the attention and then put his hands around Goodyear's neck and said, No, you do it like this." And he pressed his thumbs against each other on either side of his windpipe. Quote, "You pinch it just enough to shut oxygen off to the brain. It's such a rush." This happened in the middle of a fucking crowded bar.
You know, I am in no way, shape, or form giving Baumeister any credit, but
He's got balls. I mean,
the way to stay freaking cool in the face of adversity. I mean,
Yep.
just play the way he played it off. It's just like, oh, that can't be the killer.
yeah.
So I mean, the guy that did it's a freaking idiot, and they should have arrested him for obstruction of justice or something. But
He's got fucking moxie. You got to give him credit.
yeah, definitely.
After Baumeister decided to leave, he walked around the parking lot like pretty suspicious that, maybe there's something going on, because Mark Goodyear wasn't like this the last time they met. Like, he was really nervous and kind of, on edge about the whole thing. And all of a sudden now he's tough. He walked around for about 30 minutes, and then he started walking down the block towards his car. Albert is in hot pursuit, careful to stay just out of sight. And when Herb climbed into his car, Albert got the perfect look at the license plate and wrote down 75237A on his little piece of paper.
And I'm going to put a knife in that
Yeah.
because I have a feeling that's coming back up.
Yeah. When investigators finally traced the plate, they found heaps of information. They found the plate was registered to one Herbert Baumeister with Herb's old address in Indy of 5356 East 76th Street.
Okay, I was thinking that if he had gotten a number wrong or something.
Oh no. He's on the ball here. He's nailed it. This is helpful because it led them to the fact that Baumeister owned a chain of Save-A-Lots that had recently fallen into some financial hardship. They also found Herb's criminal record, including the vehicle theft and conspiracy charges that had been dropped in 1985. They also found that he had filed for divorce in 1991. The part that threw investigators off was all of the information was linked to this old address, and there's no mention at all of a mansion at Fox Hollow Farm.
You mean he didn't change his he didn't change his address?
Not on his registration, at least.
What kind of he must be a criminal or something.
I know. Crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I felt bad that it took me a year and a half to change the fucking address on my car insurance.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, kind of understand that depending on where you live, where you're moving to.
Yeah, they're like,
can I get a quote for this for blah 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 whatever street? Yeah, your insurance is going to go up $50 a month. Okay, I'm not moving.
so
I
mine was
may or may not have done that before.
I recently switched mine over to my new vehicle, and they're like, "Is it going to be garaged at?" Insert my old address, and I was like, "Oh shit! I never changed it, and I've had 2 vehicles since then. Whoops." Oh well. Not that it would change any, like going from a house to my apartment. I mean, 10 minutes down the road.
Right.
So all of this led the police to start doubting Goodyear's story about where the house had been and where he was at the time. Because, of course, it has to be his fault, not the fact that this scumbag is not updating his information.
Well, because only a criminal wouldn't update their information.
Correct.
Yeah, this guy's no criminal. He proved it at the bar. I mean, come on.
Exactly. He worked at the DMV. I mean,
Right.
They wouldn't let a criminal do that, would they? I think it's required that you have to be a criminal to work at the DMV. Time theft.
Oh, God.
God. I hate how inefficient the government is at points. Anyway, so as they kept digging through paperwork, they found a few items that some of his employees had filed and listed an address of 1111 156th Street in Westfield.
1111. That's so metal.
Yeah. And what's weird is when they drove by, it was exactly what Mark Goodyear had described.
Oh.
Baumeister...
1111. 1111, I believe, is also Belle Gunnis's birthday.
Gross. Baumeister made sure that all of his paperwork was, for everything, was linked back to his old house, including all of his like business paperwork and all that stuff. All had the old address on it, which would have probably come to a shock to the new occupant had the police decided to send a SWAT team there. All right, boys, we got a dangerous serial killer in here, and they kick the door in, and it's some like 35-year-old woman with her 6 kids. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Oh, I know that's happened before.
Oh yeah. There was one. There was one a couple years ago where some kid, I don't know what the fuck he did, but the police got called. I think they'd swatted somebody online. The police show up to this address, they kick the door in, and they chucked a fucking flashbang in and landed it in like a baby's, like the baby's like cradle, and like hurt the kid pretty badly. And then they're just like, whoops, we got the wrong address, sorry. And we'll fix your door, I guess. You know. With all of this evidence pointing towards Baumeister, Detective Wilson followed up and took a little trip out to Fox Hollow Farm. When she arrived there, she became confident that this is for sure the place that Mark Goodyear had been brought to. Just to be safe, she wrote down the plate numbers of all 3 cars in the parking lot, and after running the plate numbers, she found exactly what she was looking for, which was the white truck in the driveway. It matched the one that had been seen cruising around the gay bars in Indianapolis. But there's something about serial killers and white trucks, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's because,
like a requirement.
Yeah, but like when you have a pickup truck, white is like the most common color for pickup trucks. Or a van. You just blend in. Because, like, I mean, how I'm sure you guys have, like, fleet vehicles down there for, like, auto parts stores or whatever where they do delivery. They're all fucking white.
Yeah, I've driven a fleet van before that was white.
Yep. They're all white because white is cheaper when you buy the vehicle, and it's cheaper to insure. And also, if you have to do body work on it, there's less sun bleaching that you have to deal with when you color match, which is more of a modern problem than it would have been back then, but I digress. I hate that I just automatically go back into dealership mode. Ugh, gross. She had a picture printed out. She probably would have lost her job if she'd used the color printer. Had a picture printed out from his 1985 arrest that began circulating it around the gay bars. Every club that brought the photo out to people... Oh,
that's Herb.
Oh, Yeah. So basically, every club that this photo was distributed to, when it was shown to anybody, people in the bar were like, "Oh yeah, no, I've seen him around here before. He looks really familiar." With everything starting to fall into place for the investigation, there is one last thing that she wants to check out. She starts talking to the neighbors and asking if they'd been to the house, and they confirmed that they had, and that the house had an indoor pool, which is another, we got our guy. We just got to figure out what to do. Detective Wilson then started posing as a customer, trying to accidentally, on purpose, bump into Herb.
Purposely.
Yep. Yes. Trying to bump into him at the store. On November 1st, with help from another detective named Thomas Green, they walked into the store and right up to the register and asked to speak to the owner. She went full Karen mode. Like, I want to speak to the manager. And they're like, oh, fuck. Somebody come talk to this lady. The cashier went into the back room.
Except she's not there to bitch about her, French fries only having 52 fries instead of 54.
This says 16 ounces. I went home and weighed it without the bag, and it's 14. So you owe me some ounces here, mister.
Right. Yeah, she wasn't there doing that, but she was there because she's on the case.
Oh, yeah, no, but they're like full undercover, fantastic. Right. And the other detective's probably just like in the back, like stand-up hider, just rolling his eyes like this fucking crazy wife in here bitching about how many apples she got in a bag. So the cashier goes into the back room and actually returns with Herb Baumeister. Oh. And Baumeister was just exactly how Goodyear described him. Tall, effeminate, with pouty lips and slightly leathery skin, which is disturbing. Most likely due to his frequent trips to the tanning bed.
Okay.
So he looks like an old football.
Yeah. He actually, who he kind of looks like? Just in that one picture, there was this stand-up comedian back in the early 90s, and he got kind of famous. He had this really whiny voice, and he looked just like the one picture, the picture that we used last week. He looked a lot like that, and he had this act. It was so ridiculously boring that it was hilarious. So it was pretty genius. He'd be like, "I am a thrill seeker. When I ride the escalator, I don't hold on to the rail. I throw up my arms and go, yay!" And just stuff like that. I can't remember the guy's name. The guy was on Everybody Loves Raymond on a few episodes, playing Ray's cousin. So he did. He got a little bit of fame. I cannot remember what the hell. But he does kind of look like that guy. Kinda. Wouldn't it be some shit if it actually was Herb Baumeister?
Right?
No, his comedy's funny.
I've got an episode called Cousin Gerard. Maybe that's him.
I think so.
Let's see. Fred Stoller. Is that who you're talking about?
I don't know. I
Hold on here.
Remember
guy's name. This fella.
Yeah, that's him.
He does kind of look like him. That's real odd.
Yeah, but a lot younger from when I obviously saw him in the stand-up comedy.
Let's see. Oh, damn it, dude! Oh my god!
Yeah, definitely those. Yeah.
Oh boy, that is unfucking canny.
I was just gonna say uncanny.
Oh man, I don't like that at all. Oh, right there, there.
That's the one.
I don't like that at all, Bill. I don't like that at all. Oh boy, what a pull!
Yeah, right. See, people digressions aren't necessarily a bad thing.
Oof.
And I'm going to get a cease and desist letter from Fred Stoller here in the next week or two.
No, you're probably going to get you'll get a comment on the episode about him. Somebody remembered me. He remembered me from something crazy, which is the same thing. Oh my god. So they said Herb also carried himself with a, quote, an air of privilege and seemed pretty pissy about being interrupted from his back office work. Detective Wilson dropped the hammer on his bullshit and came right out and told him, "We are here investigating the missing gay men." When she mentioned that, Herb reacted with immediate anxiety.
Oh, no.
As he freaked out, and he told the detectives, quote, he would, quote, "be happy to cooperate, but I'm really busy right now. Could you possibly come back later this afternoon?"
I spilled white out.
I was just getting ready to go inventory the... I was going to go restock the cooler.
I spilled white out was one of his lines, something that he says in that Everybody Loves Raymond episode.
God damn it, Bill.
I liked that show.
Oh.
That was a good show.
So Green and Wilson left the thrift store and went to a local diner to grab food and discussed what they had just been through. Baumeister seemed spooked by the whole thing, and it surprised the detectives that when they went back later that day, he was still at the store. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he was in the middle of doing something. I was counting tomatoes in the office from the security camera. I can picture him just like 1, 2, 3, 6, 15. Damn it. 1, 2. This is like a little like rinky dink, like 8-inch, like black and white screenies.
True crime podcaster dies on camera by drowning.
Suspect unknown. So he invited the detectives into his office and faked ignorance about all these missing men. He talked to the detectives like
What
they
did he
were
say?
interviewing. What's that?
It wasn't me.
Oh no, it's so much better than that. Because he's sitting there talking to them like they're like teenage kids that have gone in for an interview for jobs that save a lot. I could picture this asshole sitting at his desk with a clipboard. Now, tell me a little bit more about other jobs that you've had that would make you a good candidate for this. And these people are just like, all right, asshole. We know you did this. And he's like, that's not the answer I was looking for. So they went into like full-blown interrogation in his office. And he responded with the biggest lie of all time. Quote, "I've never been to a gay bar. I'm not gay, so I don't really know why you would come to me or how I could help you in this situation."
Bullshit.
He was just batting dicks out of his face the entire time he was trying to say that, too. History Goon.
No, I'm with you on that one.
Did I ever tell you the story about me and my friend accidentally wandering into a gay bar one time in Pittsburgh?
Well, you're going to have to now. Because
Okay,
I guarantee you haven't told and I guarantee you haven't done it on History Goon.
No, it's never come up. So I went to Pittsburgh. I don't know, fucking almost 20 years ago at this point in time in my life, to tour a gunsmithing school, and I went with my best friend wanted to go with me because he wanted a weekend to just get away from shit and go hang out, just. So we're wandering through Pittsburgh, and it's like, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning. And, we're both in our 20s. We're like, let's go get beers. Why not? We already had breakfast. We may as well start drinking now. The only bar that we can find that's open is this place called Lucky 13. We're like, whatever. Wander in, and, there's a dude in there watching TV, and, like, there's a bunch of posters up on the wall. We're like, there's a lot of dudes on this wall. Okay, whatever. Start drinking, and, like, I get a piss. So I go in, and, standing there, going to the bathroom, and I look over and the toilet paper thing's empty. And being the person that I am, there's a roll of toilet paper on the back of the toilet. So I took the cardboard tube off of a rather large rainbow dildo. And I went, I put the other roll back on. I went out and I sat down next to my buddy and I went, I think we're in a gay bar. And the guy behind the bar, like the bartender goes, yeah, you are. And my friend's like, yeah, man, I knew as soon as we walked in. Like, and you didn't say anything? He goes, who gives a fuck? We're getting beers. And I'm like, that's true. And then we sat in there for like 2 hours just like shooting the shit with this giant bald guy. It was hilarious, but yeah. And then the conversation of like, why do you have that for a paper towel, like a toilet paper holder came up and he's like, it was already here, so we just used it. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Anyway, good times. So yeah, he's never been to a gay bar, but I have. Whatever. Liar. Detective Wilson didn't argue with him and just kind of laid out the direct evidence that they've collected that they placed him directly at one of these gay bars that he, quote, had never been to. And she shut his ass up pretty quickly when she told him that his car and his license plates were outside of one of these gay bars, which is very strange. His car's gay.
Well, there used to, in my home county, there was this, like, iconic gay bar, and right next to it, there was, a titty bar. The titty bar is still there. The gay bar burned down. Electrical fire, nothing suspicious or anything like that. Seriously. Right. That's not the point of the story. But the point of the story is just like when you're fucking around with your friends and everything, you're like, yeah, I was on my way to Bear Assets and I saw your car over at Saturdays.
It's the only place I could park. Jesus. $2 margaritas, you blame me?
Anyway, hashtag. But I digress.
So after they discover that it's actually his car that's gay and not him, with his lies silenced, he just starts farting around with paperwork on his desk. And Wilson said she could actually see a vein in his head start throbbing. So, and why in the world he would do all of this shit in his office instead of being like, hey, buddy, we're going to take you to our office where we can videotape this whole thing. I don't know. But they did it there. He is caught. He knows it. And he admitted that he had been to the gay bars. And he got a little pissed off.
The only place that were open at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. God. And he said to them, quote, my wife doesn't know and neither does anyone else, and I don't want them to.
Well, too bad.
He is more concerned with making sure that people don't know he's gay than he is with being caught for murder. Which is weird, right? I might be a murderer, but I'm not gay. Ugh.
I don't know.
Fucking weirdo.
Episode 3, William Cruz. He was a spree killer in my hometown. And leading up to his rampage, he would just get pissed off. It's like he was convinced that everybody thought that he was gay. And he was just like, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. And it's just like it's like the only people that are really adamantly want you to know that they're not gay are people that are in the closet.
Yeah. Or it's like there's also that theory that they're like some comedian is like every dude is at least like 10% gay because we've all done gay shit.
This one.
You know what's that?
I was gonna say I thought I knew where you were going with that one.
Yeah.
Like it's like, well, when you're watching porn, do you like seeing a guy with a little needle? It's like, no, I like big fat cock. Oh shit.
Yeah. No, but
That's where I thought you were going with that.
no, like it's a similar road, but it's like, yeah, it's just like it's like how all women are like slightly lesbians once you get them drunk,
History.
No, like seriously.
No, I'm just messing with you.
You can think of so many girls where they're just like, I would never do that. Then they have like 6 beers and they're making out with their best friend, and you're like, I know it's because you're drunk. That's fine. I've never gotten drunk and made out with my best friend. We do it sober.
Coming up next week on the Brohio podcast.
Oh, God. So now that they had a good reason to, Wilson asked for permission to search Fox Hollow Farms. And he, of course, told them that he would really, really like to help. Like, nothing more in his heart would he like to do than help them find the sick son of a bitch that's killing these poor gay men. But he'd have to talk to his attorney first.
It's like fucking Belle Gunnis.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll help you search the farm and everything, but you're going to have to pay me for my time.
Or H.H. Holmes, where they're like, we want to search your vault. And he's like, go ahead and take it out. If you damage my building that I had built around it, you're going to pay for every scrap of the damage.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay for the work, so you're going to pay for it to be fixed. The detectives had to make a fair assessment that Baumeister's nervousness didn't automatically make him a murderer. It could be the fact that there is 2 detectives grilling him for information in his own office, and kind of threatening his way of life. Wilson did call Baumeister the next day, and he informed her that he had hired an attorney named James Voiles. And Detective Wilson contacted Mr. Voiles to ask him some questions about him being hired. And he told her that Baumeister was not, in fact, his client and had never even heard of him, let alone been hired by him. So this motherfucker
he just opened up the yellow pages. Oh, that's a pretty cool sounding name.
Exactly. The 1994 version of like attorneys in my area. First one that pops up because he's got a sponsor. That guy.
Yeah.
He couldn't have even like pulled one of like the ones like off a radio ad out of his ass where they've got like 5 billion clients. That would have taken a couple of hours for them to like hunt somebody down through like a file system.
I hired Morgan & Morgan, but they're injury attorneys.
I'm injured.
My pride
spiritually. You hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Detective Wilson then called Baumeister back and asked about the whole, hey, you lied to a police officer and you're impeding an active murder investigation thing. But Baumeister told her again that yes, he had hired this guy. And over the next few weeks, she kept playing cat and mouse with Herb and Voiles until Voiles finally admitted that he had been hired by Baumeister.
Oh.
So, like, everybody is just, like, lying to the cops here. Wilson assumed correctly that Baumeister had just been, like, dragging them along until he could raise enough money to actually...
Why was the cop playing the game, then?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sorry if... Well... I don't know. There's probably some way to look at that to make it, sound reasonable. Like maybe it's like, okay, well, I'm not representing him, so he's not going to use... That's probably it. He hasn't hired me yet, so therefore I'm not going to let him use my name.
Yeah,
that's probably it.
And then, like, eventually... So her train of thought was, he's playing this game to raise enough money to actually hire this guy. Which he does.
What, is he a telethon or something?
No, I don't know where all of his money is. Bring. It's like, he's running a semi-successful chain of... That's true. It's like, why not just embezzle some money? You're already going to prison for murder. Who gives a fuck about money crimes at that point?
Yeah,
right? But as soon as Voiles has officially been hired, he told the detectives to basically go fuck themselves. Yeah. And get a search warrant. What he legally is telling them to fuck off.
Right.
Here's where the detectives decided to take a different, more aggressive tactic. On November 30th, 1995, she visited the Castleton Save-A-Lot. What's important about that is she goes there to talk to the manager, who is not Herb. It's Julie. She manages a separate location. And she fully intended to tell Julie about what evidence that they had that they've been able to connect Herb to all of these missing gay men. And she had an almost shot-for-shot remake of the meeting that she'd had with Herb with Julie. They talked to a cashier. Julie shows up a few minutes later. Wilson said that Julie seemed heavily burdened and frazzled, which I think is a legal term, is frazzled. Too far north to be bumfuzzled, but frazzled.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, like, frazzled. I've
Yeah,
used
you get into like Kentucky and you can be bumfuzzled, but Indiana, I think you still have to be frazzled.
I'm familiar with that word. I've used it. It means just like fucked in the head. Like
Which one?
Like frazzled.
Oh yeah. You're just
He's like
scatterbrained.
Scatterbrained.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Huh? What? Yeah.
I can't remember where I put my fucking pen, and you expect me to remember that? Okay.
Yeah. That's frazzled.
So she informs Julie that she is a detective involved with the missing persons cases in Indianapolis. After telling her a little of what was going on, she asked if she could search the house in Carmel, even though Fox Hollow Farms is in Westfield. Julie is not expecting... Julie wasn't expecting this request, but Herb had previously tipped her off that the police had visited him a few weeks previously, but of course he lied to her about the reasoning for the visit. Probably told her something about like, oh, they wanted to check security cameras from outside for a hit and run or something like that. But then he told her that the police wanted to search the house because someone had accused him of theft.
Okay.
After getting the real reason for the police interest, she immediately flashed back to the day her son showed up in the backyard with a human skull. Unfortunately, she told the detectives to screw and denied them access. Herb was clearly distraught at this point. He contacted his former attorney that had handled the legal parts of his business operations, and he told his attorney that he was suicidal.
Aww.
He described that the business was on the verge of bankruptcy. He told him, quote, 5 minutes after you hang up the phone, I won't be here anymore. The attorney became concerned, obviously, because this guy that you've worked with is now telling you, hey, I'm going to kill myself. And he asked, quote, Herb, are you talking about what I think you're talking about? Herb then went off on a strange speech where he said, quote, I know what you're going to say. You've been a good friend, and I expect you to try to talk me out of this, but my mind's made up. I've thought about this, and it's best for Julie and the kids. After finishing that, he hung up the phone. After getting off the phone, the attorney, John Engloff, called the Hamilton County Police, who had an officer at Fox Hollow Farms within minutes. Unfortunately, Herb wasn't home when the officer got to the farm. Julie pulled into the driveway just after the officer had gotten there. And after having the situation explained to her, she called Herb's cell phone. In typical creep Herb style, he told her that yes, he had talked to Engloff, but had no idea what he was talking about with the whole being suicidal thing.
Well, you got to throw people off the case, you know.
Yeah, and as soon as she got off the as soon as she got off the phone, as soon as he got off the phone with Julie, he called Engloff and gave him just a bag of shit for, quote, getting Julie upset, and then told him not to call anyone else about it. So we're going to jump back quickly. During 1995, 1996, Herb had lost his mind, and Julie filed for divorce in January due to Herb's, quote, serious emotional instability, which is a thing that he's been dealing with forever.
Right.
Like
in other news waters, wet.
Correct. And with all this stuff going on, she requested temporary custody of the kids Between the divorce and the fact that Save-A-Lot had been ordered by a court to pay the sum of $167,247 in back taxes, rent, and other fees, Herb kind of hit rock bottom and stopped showing up at the store completely. He'd also been seen a few times in the Save-A-Lot parking lot drinking and sharing some alone time with a younger man.
Oh, boy.
And yeah, right in the parking lot in the middle of the day.
Playing blackjack?
Yeah, they're doing Bible study in the backseat, of course.
Okay, yeah.
He'd been so careful to hide like that part of his life, but at this point it seemed like the wheels just fell off, you know? And Herb told her out of the blue that he was going to be enrolling the kids in a 6-week summer program at Culver Military Academy. This is the event right here that led Julie to file for full custody of the kids.
Okay.
And again, the found skull popped back into her head, and she contacted her lawyer, Bill Wendling, who would contact Detective Wilson, and he told Wilson, quote, "I feel I'm at liberty to tell you now, Julie found what Julie found on the property a few years ago." This would launch a joint investigation on Fox Hollow Farms by the Hamilton and Marion County Police Departments. On June 24th, 1996, Julie finally gave full permission to search the property. During the investigation, she shared the details of the skull and her fear that there could potentially be more on the property than she was privy to in the first place.
A lot more.
Yeah. Julie led them to where the skull and other bones had been found on a burnt patch of land about 2 yards wide. After only so you imagine, like, it's just inside the wood line and he is burning corpses. You're going to smell that from miles away. Like, that's not a pleasant smell. After only a few minutes of very light digging and looking, a long human leg bone is found. Julie freaked out, and one of the officers said she looked like she was faking the shock of the discovery. Like she might have known that was there in the first place, or been very, very convinced that something like that was going on, you know?
Right.
The investigators found several more bones, some teeth, and a man named Stephen Naraki, who's a forensic anthropologist, was brought in to confirm that they were, in fact, human bones that had been found. He told them that the bones were human, duh. Recently had been burned, duh. Hamilton County prosecutor Sonia Learcamp was contacted to get a full-blown search warrant, but she told them that since they had Julie's permission, they don't need a warrant anymore. Because by giving permission, you waive your Fourth Amendment right to illegal searches and seizures.
Well, yeah.
So, we don't need no warrant. She said yes. With the mounting evidence, the police decided to hold off on questioning Herb because even with all the trouble he's having financially, he's still looked at as a fairly affluent member of the community. Kind of sad, but like the reasoning seems to be that they still gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was an upstanding member of society, but
still he's got all these, tax fraud allegations and stuff.
Right. But the other thing is, these are just missing gay dudes. So it's really not a priority. Who really cares, you know?
No, I'm going the money angle. I mean,
right.
It doesn't make any sense to me that they would still consider him to be an affluent member of society when he owes like $150,000 in back taxes.
Yeah. I mean, in like 1995, $165,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't sneeze at it now if somebody offered that to me, but like that's a lot of money back then.
I would. I'd take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd definitely. Thank you.
I'd sneeze if they wanted me to.
Yeah. So after a few hours of digging, the police had found several hand bones, a tooth, a femur, a fibia, a tibia, which makes the entire bottom part of your leg. And they didn't find what they were looking for, which were but Because obviously, if you have teeth, it's a little bit easier to identify victims if they have
but
dental records.
I mean, if you find one tooth, it's not going to do you a damn bit.
No,
of good.
you need to get like a handful of them.
Right.
When the investigators made their way into the house, they found it cluttered and an absolute nightmare to investigate and navigate. They made their way to the inside pool area. It was almost exactly how Mark Goodyear described it. Here's where they would find the section of garden hose that had been used to choke Goodyear and presumably the rest of the victims that were found on the property. When the police went to the cottage that Herb and his son Eric had been staying at to tell him that Eric was being removed from his custody, he seemed like he was in fairly good spirits and told them that he wanted to contact his attorney before they took him. During the interrogation, Julie would reveal some kind of odd details about their marriage, including the fact that during their entire marriage, she had never seen Herb naked, and that on their honeymoon they didn't have sex.
Well, yeah, if she had never seen him naked.
Right, but they have 2 kids.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're doing like the I don't know if they're doing the like the Hasidic Jew thing where it's like through a sheet or what, but she said that Herb would only change his clothes in the bathroom with the door shut and he slept fully clothed at night. It reminds me of, have you ever seen Arrested Development?
No, I've actually never seen an
Oh
episode
my God.
of that show. I've been told by many a people I need to do it. I just haven't, for whatever reason. I just haven't. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I haven't.
So David Cross's character is a therapist of some sort, and he's what they refer to in the show as a never nude.
No.
So he they show him like in the shower, like somebody like whips the shower curtain back. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm in here," and they're like the camera just like pulls back, and he's in these like tiny little like cut off jean shorts.
Oh God.
And at one point he's like, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you." And his wife's standing there, and he like unbuttons his jean shorts and pulls them down, and the camera pans back up, and he's got another pair underneath them. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's all I can think of is like this guy's like sleeping in fucking like Dockers or something with a belt.
Yeah, with the belt on.
She also said that there were large gaps in time between like during the summers where she would call home when they were at the cabin and he just wouldn't answer the phone. She said that during the summer he would have definitely had more than enough time to be out carrying out his extracurricular activities.
Right.
June 26, 1996, tabloids like Hardline started trying to get access to the property where they were all trying to get a little taste of what's going on inside the gates there, because the news media is disgusting and anything that's going to get ratings is what they're after, which is why tragedies are really good for like Fox and MSN. You know,
Yeah.
The media caused some issues between Metro PD and other like local county departments. They started saying that the locals shouldn't have like lead on the case because of all the missing people were actually from Indianapolis. So the police would Indianapolis
they care
police
about being objective.
Yeah, right. It's like, so they want the bigger police department to have jurisdiction over crimes that were committed in the areas where these other places would actually have jurisdiction because all the dead guys are from this one particular area.
Right.
Which is completely backwards. It's like whoever is in the area where the crime is committed generally has, you know.
Oh my God! Something happened right down the street, but never mind that. I'm going to give my story to a reporter in Dallas.
Yeah, we found this guy dead on the side of the road in rural Vermont, but he's from Maryland, so we can't do anything about it. We have to get the Maryland State Police up here.
Hello, everybody. No.
So dumb. God. He would have got promoted over this one. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
On June 28th of the same year, Naraki had recruited 60 volunteers to start the biggest part of the digging. They dug an area of about 1,300 feet where they had found all the like the first set of bones. At the end of the day, they unearthed thousands of pieces of skeletal remains. Mm-hmm. This is nothing compared to what a couple of landscapers would find on a property adjacent to this.
Oh, so he's burying it in his neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
And
again, like a cat.
He's saying,
It wasn't me.
Yeah. I ran out of room here, so I'm just gonna. I noticed you didn't do the tomatoes this year, so I'm just gonna use your back lot there.
Yeah. Hey, my buddy Ed told me that it makes good tomato fertilizer.
Bone meal, yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. But these landscapers would point the police to Baumeister's old compost pile on the western edge of Fox Hollow Farm, where they found a ton of mostly intact spines, mandibles, vertebrae, and ribs.
Still
just
no
below the surface of the compost.
Still no skulls.
No, mandibles are your bottom jaw.
But no skull.
No, but if you have the bottom jaw with intact teeth.
Oh, I'm just saying, they still haven't found skulls.
No, just the one that the kid's
Right.
probably got
They
like
still
hanging
haven't
on his
found
wall or
any
something.
skulls. Yeah, I wasn't talking about. I don't care about teeth. I'm just saying they still haven't found any more skulls.
Yeah, which is
I'm
weird,
just making
right?
a point. Yeah. Should I put a knife in that?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Can you put it like halfway in, just the tip? Sorry.
No. All or nothing, baby.
3 inches of thunder.
2 inches, 2 minutes. Oh my God! I'm sure I've mentioned this on the podcast at some point over the past 4.5 years. There was this punk band that I've actually been an on and off again member. They're like legendary. They've been around my home county for years. They're called Scurvy the Clown, and they do the like 30-second long songs and stuff like that. They have the song called 2 inches, 2 minutes. And one of the one of the verses is like, then we started getting naked. We started taking it off. Then she laughed at my penis and said, who you gonna please with that? I said, me!
Well, you said they were a punk band, so the 30-second song thing kind of tracks.
Yeah, they're great band.
Like that's the great thing with like old punk songs is like by the time you get to the point where you're like, I don't know if I like this, I should skip this, it's already over.
Right.
Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, everybody knows I'm a metalhead, but I do have an appreciation for punk.
Absolutely. You have to.
My second album, Intruder, even has a punk song on it.
It's like I know they're like one of the bigger ones, but like Black Flag, I don't know that they put a song out that I didn't like, I don't know, but
right.
But again, I'm also the same guy that just spent like the last like 8 hours at work listening to the fucking Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks, which is basically just all like old school punk stuff anyway.
Yeah.
This might be the best line in this whole thing. Naraki said at this discovery, quote, "It's like a bomb went off in a people factory."
Oh God.
That's
could bombing the people factory. That could be it. That sounds like a punk song title.
Yep. Or like, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't need to get murdered in my sleep by agents of the federal government. So, on July 1st, a Carmel Parks Department, which is the team that was mowing a nearby field, came across a set of handcuffs, just kind of chucked across the field. After seeing some of the media coverage, including a picture of Stephen Naraki holding up a pair of handcuffs that were very similar to these and grinning, which was taken at a very long range with a very large lens. The picture makes him look like a complete fucking lunatic. And he actually got kind of a bad rap for this picture that was taken by somebody trying to sell it to a tabloid. So he got some shit for that, which is odd.
What's his name?
Stephen Nawrocki. Nawrocki. With all of this, Herb removed himself from the shit show at the farm and hadn't been there for weeks. But towards the end of the whole story, he would kind of reach out to his kids. Now, what I don't understand, right, is if you suspect this guy of killing people and you're investigating his home and you find human remains, why has he not been arrested?
Right, exactly.
You know, that's kind of a... I don't know. I would kind of think that may be enough evidence to put cuffs on this guy.
You would
But
think.
what do I know? I'm just an asswipe with an internet connection. You know? It said that he talked to each of them individually, and he told them each how much he loved and cared for them. And he told each of them goodbye, that, you know, this is the last time that he's probably going to see him. And it was actually the last time that he would speak to his kids. Herb Baumeister, this is another very interesting detail, would be found dead by a group of Canadian campers in Sarnia, Ontario, July 3rd, 1996.
Yeah, he blasted himself in his car, didn't he?
Out in a field, but you're under investigation. How the fuck did you get across the border?
Right.
Like-
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But yeah, they found him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, right?
Yeah. Like, perfect. Good
Maybe-
question like this.
Maybe he had
This-
Maybe he had something on the Clintons.
Well, he didn't shoot himself in the head twice.
Oh, okay.
But like he's under investigation for multiple homicides, and he somehow got across the border. Where my dad, who has a misdemeanor DUI, can't go to Canada. Figure that one out. But of course, he had to do this as like herbly as possible. So he'd gotten himself dressed up for a special occasion. He was wearing grayish colored dress pants with a perfectly pressed
Wait a
white
minute. That
button-down
tells me
shirt.
that they didn't even have anything in the they didn't have anything on the wires about him at all.
No.
He wasn't in the system at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like you're digging up fucking human bones in this guy's backyard, and he can somehow
because
just
when
drive
he crossed
across
the border, when he crossed the border, everybody that crosses the border gets checked.
Yep.
There was nothing.
Yep.
Freaking nothing.
Nothing.
Your dad with his DUI, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Your dad with his DUI can't get across because they're going to find it. I'm sorry, you can't come in. You had a DI 30 years ago, and but meanwhile, Baumeister, they just found last week. They found a shit ton of bones in his yard, and he's under investigation for murder.
Quote: a bomb went off in a human factory.
Bomb went off in a human factory.
And this fucking guy just like, boop, I'm just going to go to Canada.
Wow.
So he's in grayish dress pants. He's got a perfectly pressed white button-down shirt. It looked like it had been recently dry cleaned. It was like, I mean, I'm sure it was a mess, but it was pretty well pressed. He was also wearing his most patriotic red, white, and blue tie just in time for Independence Day, which Canada doesn't celebrate.
What a great American.
Next to him was an envelope that said, quote, "Attention Canadian authorities." Inside this envelope was his long, rambling suicide note, and in the note, Herb seemed dedicated to apologizing and owing up for just about everything he'd ever done wrong, except for the missing gay men.
People.
Yep. He took responsibility for destroying his 25-year-old marriage and expressed regret for financially ruining his chain of Save-A-Lots. He even apologized for ruining the atmosphere of the park that he was going to kill himself in. The next morning, 4th of July, 1996, Julie was interrupted mid-morning coffee by a knock at the door. She answered to find her lawyer, Bill Wendling, and he told her about Herb's death. There would be no funeral, and Herb's body would just hang out at the funeral home. There was no visitors until he was cremated. With Herb dead, the investigation starts to really ramp up. Lindloff from the Ohio part of the investigation travels to Indiana to collect finger and palm prints from Baumeister's body before he was cremated, obviously. It'd be a little tricky afterwards.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, they might have tried it. This bunch.
He calls the funeral home and he's like, hey, listen, just lop his hands off and burn the rest of it. I'm going to take those with me. Put him in a Ziploc, toss him in the freezer.
And then then he forgets it when he's back on the property, and it just falls out.
He forgets his cooler in the car overnight. Shit, those are going to go bad.
And then he just chunks it in there. Oh, shit, now I can't find it.
Ah, damn it! And he just has to throw them out in the dumpster. Well, we're talking about poor police work. Unfortunately, the prints that Lindhoff had gotten were so poor and smeared that the Ohio Crime Lab could not match them to any of the victims, because apparently the dead body was like squirming around and he couldn't get a fucking fingerprint off of it. You're a detective. How do you not get readable fingerprints off of a corpse? You don't have to fight with the guy. He's not handcuffed to the table and trying to roll his fingers around. Piss poor police work. Anyway.
A rookie, he's like freaking out because, oh my God, it's dead.
So they get the results back and he's like, oh shit, I'll go back to Indiana. And by the time he got back there, he'd already been cremated, so he can't even get a second shot at this.
You pick up the phone and you say, hey, hold up on cremating him, or at least cut his hands off.
Yeah, lop his fucking hands off. Like, I'll send you the money for the pruning shears if you need them.
Or better yet, just take fingerprints from him and let them dry first, and then mail them to me, or fax them to me, or do something.
Take fingerprints. I'll pick them up in 6 hours.
Yeah. I'll come up there and get them myself.
So he's pissed off, thinking that his investigation's ruined. But thankfully, he gets a call from our hero of the story, Detective Wilson, the next day saying that no, he's not been cremated yet. So this time, he personally went out and made a much more legible set of prints. Because apparently, before he had gone out, he had a forensic tech with him that didn't really know what they were doing.
That's what I said.
And that's where
that's exactly what I said a minute ago.
Yeah.
That is literally, not word for word, but exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, maybe he had somebody, oh my God, it's dead body. And you're sitting there letting me go along.
I'm letting you get your frustration out of this stupid shit, too.
I am frustrated. I could be a freaking better detective than they could.
I know. Me, too. Like, I barely graduated high school, and I could have done this.
Freaking Todd Teal solved the Larry Hall case on this podcast. The bodies are buried in his graveyard on top of other graves.
Dexter style.
No, that only happened in one episode.
That's true.
It didn't work out very well.
So this time when he went out personally, like we said, he has a forensic tech with him. They get the prints. They get back. They send him into the crime lab in Ohio. And this print was also not good. Again. So he calls back and is like, hey, listen, some shit happened with these. Is there any chance? And they're like, no. We already burned him. We actually cooked him this time.
Put the ashes all back together, reassemble them.
Get some wood glue. We'll put this asshole back together. So you
got about 10,000 years because that's how long it'll take.
Yeah. So the only chance they had of getting any evidence to link Baumeister to the dead man in his area is now gone. After a bunch of missteps in the Ohio investigation, including having actual physical evidence from one of the dead men that had been collected, including the killer's DNA, that was all packaged up and somewhere on a shelf. He goes to update his evidence and all that shit's missing too. With his case destroyed, he's still to this day 80% sure that Herb Baumeister is the I-70 Strangler.
80?
Human error, got to account for that.
Well, I mean, weren't some of Israel Keys' murders possibly Herb Baumeister's or vice versa?
I don't know because they had different
I
types.
think I did read that somewhere. That,
Yeah. For something like the strangulation, yeah. I think that is possibly true too. So, unfortunately, since Herb shuffled off the mortal plane via self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, there's no trial, and it's nearly
I'm
impossible.
surprised they didn't try with this group.
Right? I mean,
You get a medium in there. I am channeling the ghost of. He is here. He wants to know if we're going to have problems cleaning up the whiteout.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce to the court this 55-year-old white woman with crystals and a Ouija board. The Ouija board is not admissible, but white girl magic is. Fucking clacking crystals together. Herb, clack, clack. Are you here with us? He said no. Shit.
Knock once for yes or twice for no. He's not here. Oh wait, well then who knocked twice then?
That was me. Sorry, I got bored. So we have no way of proving how many victims there were. Unconfirmed numbers at the time that I wrote this years ago was somewhere between 11 and 20 between Indiana and Ohio. I'm pretty confident that number has been updated since, though.
Well, okay, I'm looking at something here. This is from a recent Reddit thread, well, about a year ago. Mel Beast. They're saying that they have found, around 10,000 bones. If 10,000 bones, if there's 206 bones in a human skeleton, 10,000 would equal 48 bodies.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just on his property.
Right. This guy probably has Willie Picton beat.
Yeah, probably. The only thing that I'm finding here through this AI summary bullshit through Google or Yahoo says at least 11. But then you scroll down a little bit and Wikipedia refers to him as a German-American businessman.
Yeah, but what I'm saying would be what Mel Beast is saying is that, okay, around 10,000 bones were found, but like I said, they haven't found any skulls other than the one.
Right.
So not all of the bones have been found. So that's 10,000 that they've found. 10,000 would equal around 48 bodies.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's probably considerably even more than 10,000, and that really goes, it's just that really shows you just how little, how little police gave a shit about solving disappearing gay people back.
And
back then,
like we
the
just said, that 10,000 bones is only at that property.
Right.
That's not counting the guys that he was killing in Ohio and dumping on the side of the road, or if he ran out of room and started dumping them elsewhere. Right.
This guy there's a good chance that this guy's up there in Samuel Little territory. If everything that Samuel Little said is true, which I think that it probably is.
Because he said, what, like 96 or something? 93?
93, I believe, yeah.
I mean, I would, conservatively, if I were to guess, probably put Herb around 60. Yeah. 60 to 70.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing...
Which beats Willie Picton's 49.
Yeah. The other thing to talk about for a little bit is the fact that Fox Hollow Farm has become, a paranormal hotspot for people to investigate.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of, documentaries and stuff about people going in there and, getting some weird shit on their ghost hunting equipment. Which I'm into that. I am a believer of the supernatural. So,
well,
I mean,
Joe LeBlanc, he lived at the property after Herb Baumeister's death, and he was walking his dog on the property in 2012, and he discovered a human leg bone, which was later identified to be one of the victims. He lived in an apartment over a garage. This is the particular story that I've heard of, the one that stuck out. That's what I was kind of getting at when I asked you in the last episode if we were going to talk about that. But according to his reports, because I haven't seen any the haunting like the Ghost Chaser shows and stuff like that. I haven't seen that, any of those. I'm not really into that stuff, but yeah, I believe.
I don't necessarily like watching it on TV. I like going out and doing it. That's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, but he lived in an apartment over the garage, and he had chilling experiences, sometimes claiming to have felt the presence of the victims or personally encountered spirits on the property. If I remember correctly, there was one thing about like banging noises and stuff, and when he went to investigate, there was nothing there.
Yep.
And if I may, if and this is all going off my memory, because like I said, I probably should have watched the Fox Hollow haunting document. I probably should have watched that before we did this, but at one point he just like got the hell out of Dodge because he was so scared.
Yeah.
But another thing I have here is 30 years later. This is last year. This is from Crime Junkie's Facebook page. I just found it made on a random search, but Crime Junkie. There you go.
I don't think they need our help.
Nah,
they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, check out this smaller podcast. They're called Crime Junkie. They're really good. Two high energy ladies that that are really passionate about true crime, and they're up and coming podcast.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely a lower end show with 8 to 10 million listeners a week. They could use our help.
Yeah, they could.
But they could send like 5 or 6 of those people my way. That I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, right. This is their post. Says 30 years after remains were found, the Hamilton County coroner has confirmed that some of Roger Goodlet's remains were found.
Yep.
He vanished in India in 1994. They were tentatively ID'd in 1996 through dental records, but now with DNA, it was been confirmed that the bones that they found that they thought were his are indeed him.
Yep.
And like that stories like that are going to keep happening. They're going to be, this bone belongs to this person. This bone belongs to this person. If we had more names, we'd give them.
Yep.
But we don't.
No, we only have the ones that I could come up with, that were had been identified at the time that I wrote it.
If you heard, but one thing I was looking at on this Reddit page was people questioning, saying that the Mark Goodyear could have been an accomplice.
I don't know. So. I don't buy that.
I don't either. I mean, it's it's speculation. That's all it is. But the number, 10,000 bones and all that stuff, that's accurate. But still, just food for thought.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he was.
I don't think that Mark we here at CKCB do not think that Mark Goodyear was Herb Baumeister's accomplice.
Oh hell no! No. You don't. This wasn't like I can't remember the kid's name from the Dean Coral episode. This was not a situation like that. This was a dude that was scared shitless and just basically stood up to this piece of shit for long enough for one of his buddies to go find his car and like get information.
Right.
Because he tried to kill him. I mean, there's really,
Yep. Oh.
But yeah, that's what I got for Herb Baumeister.
Yeah. I think wow. We could have made part 1 like a good 20 minutes longer.
we definitely could have.
but still, you found a good stopping point on part 1, I think.
Oh, I had to leave it on a cliffhanger. It was perfect.
Yeah, so
it was perfect. I might try to do that with the next one I bring to the table too, though. So because the next one I got is a Ukrainian fucking maniac that I've wanted to tell you about for a while. You keep telling me no.
Go there.
Keep telling me no. It's not even the president of Ukraine. It's an actual different one.
Yeah, you're gonna like my next one, which will be the next episode because I'm
shopping cart guy.
No,
kidding.
No, he's on the list. I wrote.
I saw you adding him to the list.
Yeah, he is on the list. But no, that's No, you're gonna like the guy.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna give a little hint that any of our listeners that are still listening, because a lot of people. All right, that's all I got. Okay, I'm done. Well, I already told you who it was, but I'll give the listeners a little hint for who the next episode is going to be. Just one little word, if you want to call it a word. Ein. And that's all. That's the
One
only
more
hint.
time?
Ein.
Okay.
If you know the story, then you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I ain't got a fucking blues clue as to what's going on.
No, but there will, yeah, it will make sense because there will be news clips in this one, and that we're gonna play, and yeah, and we are going to be able to rip on this chucklehead the entire episode.
I like it.
Yeah. So
like
anyway,
it.
thanks a lot for listening. We appreciate the hell out of it.
We sure do.
And we want you to go and like and follow and share and comment and do all the stuff. Do it for CKCB. Do it for History Goon.
Yes.
And you can do it for anybody else that you feel to it, just as long as you do our two shows first.
Yep.
And then
Can I do a quick announcement?
yes.
Since people will hear this before they hear my next episode. Season 3 of History Goon. We're opening strong. We're starting it off with Ned Kelly, and that episode is going to drop May 22nd, which is the 1-year anniversary of the History Goon podcast. And I would highly recommend getting on my Patreon, patreon.com/1159media, because there will be an associated Patreon episode with the opening episode of the season.
When are you going to put the Ashleys up?
I forgot I had it. Until just now. I forgot that I have that. You just reminded me. Shit. Damn it. Okay. I'll find that and I'll get it edited.
You give me a History Goon episode to put up as a little teaser. I'll do the same thing. That way, there's a good trade-off there.
Okay. You want a crime one? Because I can hook you up with a crime one.
Anyway, if you like us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell an enemy. And until next week, later.
Okay, love you. Bye.